see it too. They will all be here for you on Comics TV, Comics TV, Comics TV, fantasy and then on me. What's it gonna be now? Alternative, mainstream too. Here every week for you on Comics TV, Comics TV, Comics TV, Comics TV.
Hi and welcome to Comics TV. We're your weekly guide to the comic book universe. I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Steve Przybyla, and each and every week we bring you the hottest up-to-date news, reviews, previews, and everything else we can throw at you in this half hour.
This week I'm bringing you... What am I bringing you? Well, let's see. Steve's bringing you Breed, Batman Spawn, and Nightman.
And Mike's bringing you Harbinger, Dr. Faustus, and Velvet Touches.
So, on to the comics news.
In Image Comics news this week, Rob Liefeld returns to Image's first title, Youngblood, in May, in preparation and anticipation of Youngblood's monumentous return of comics. After his hiatus, Liefeld jumps on board Team Youngblood with Danny Mickey and Kipik Taganushi, splitting the creative chores with the regular team of Eric Stevenson and Chap Yip to bring you the first exhilarating chapter in the return of Youngblood's All This and a stunning wraparound cover by Liefeld for only $1.95.
First, they cloned dinosaurs from their own DNA in Jurassic Park, but that, of course, was fiction. What's as real as today's technology is the DNA gene pen, whose ink is impregnated with its bearer's unique genetic coding. Writer Steve Stern has been selected as the first comic book creator to begin signing books of his popular Zen Intergalactic Ninja comic with the DNA gene pen. This high-tech device was developed by inventor Charles Butlin, president of ArtGuard Services of Los Angeles, California. It's really a great honor to have been selected by ArtGuard to be the first person in the comic book industry to use the DNA gene pen, said Stern. This is the only authentication process recognized by the world's courts and is bonded for $1 million against forgery. Stern will be autographing copies of the Zen Intergalactic Ninja Color No. 3 available in June. The retail price is $19.95.
Topps Comics announced the arrival of Victory, a 5-issue miniseries being released in June. Just cover-to-cover excitement in the stellar tribute to the memory of Jack Kirby. The biggest sort of exciting Kirby-verse story yet. Every superstar introduced in the Topps Kirby universe is included, along with the return of Captain Victory and the debut of an all-new Kirbyverse superhero. Written by Kurt Busiek, writer of Marvels, penciled in a classic superhero style by Keith Giffen of Justice League of America, Legion of Superheroes, and Lobo fans, and inked by Jimmy Palmiotti. Victory boasts a new costume, a bold, modern look, and a storyline bursting with slam-bang action and thrills. The story has Lady Lightning and Lord Guest join forces to unleash a horror on Earth and more.
Lastly this week, Blood and Roses, the exciting series from Sky Comics, is captured in an awesome 24-card set that features the artwork of forthcoming Image artist Brad Gorby Gorbster and Blood and Roses creator Bob Hickey. Gorby has created 24 original and beautifully drawn cards that feature the character of Sky's Hot series. These trading cards are sold in box sets and include 1 of 4 special bonus cards. A special promo card limited to 3,000 copies can be found in Arena Magazine. This will be available in April.
Each and every week, I bring you the mainstream, and Michael brings you the small press. This week, I have Batman Spawn War Devil, and I also have Breed number 3. My first one this week is Batman Spawn War Devil by DC. Chuck Dixon, Alan Grant, and Doug Monique are the writers. Klaus Janson is the inker and the artist. Cost is $4.95, $6.70 Canadian. Who is Croathan? It's a question and Batman must answer it, or see Gotham City overrun by an army of the dead. But first, there is a mystery of Spawn, who may be the deadliest menace of it all, or the best ally. Batman has to decide. The story in this one was absolutely excellent. This is one of the best crossovers I've ever read. The dialogue was excellent. The art was just good. It's choppy, but that's the way it was supposed to be drawn. I didn't like it because I like very, very fine-tuned art. This was choppy, but hey, interest level was very good. Action level was excellent. Realism was excellent. Humor, poor, because there's no humor in this book whatsoever. But basically, most comic books nowadays don't have humor in them. The color was very, very good. Target audience on this one is going to be everyone. Batman, Spawn readers, DC, Marvel, everyone. This, like I was saying, excellent. This is worth every single penny that you spend for it. And for a Batman Spawn crossover, I give this one a very, very top rating.
What is that?
Huh?
What's the top rating?
Through the ceiling. Through the ceiling, Alice. For my second book, I'm going with Breed number 3 by Bravura. Jim Starlin is the writer, artist, and inker is by Digital Chameleon. Cost is $2.50, $3.20 Canadian. Ray finally finds out the unholy truth about himself and what he truly is, Breed. And now he has a very, very hard time accepting who he is and his sister. His sister also appears in this book, who is also a Breed. The story in this one was very, very good. The dialogue was very, very good. Art was absolutely phenomenal. I love the artwork in this. Malibu has some awesome artists. It was absolutely great. Action level was excellent. The realism was excellent. Humor in this one was very good. It is funny. The color in this one was absolutely excellent also. Target audience, Malibu readers. The reason I'm saying Malibu readers is DC, Marvel have their own heroes of this type. So basically anybody who's reading Malibu is going to love this. My overall grade on this one is excellent. For an ongoing series, this is one of the best series out there. Now, number 3 is basically all sold out no matter where you go. They're on back order. Pick this one up. This is a definite. And that's it today on my mainstream. And now we'll move over to Michael on the small press reviews.
And my first book I have this day is Harbinger, number 28 from Valiant. It's written by Maurice Fontenot, artist is Sean Chen, and inker is Andrew Wendell. It's $2.50, part of the Valiant universe. It's an interesting book, Harbinger it is. This story is about how the squad is given a new leader, who's Myra. In addition, McFadden's background, his past, his whole being is explained. And lastly, the group is sent to retrieve a couple of Harbingers who have gone bad. Now that's the basic premise for the story. I give everything a good. Art, dialogue, color, everything's good. Target audience would be Valiant readers, Valiant Universe readers. Now our overall grade for this one. This is another superhero type group using kids as its main premise. It's not a bad book. It shows some of what would happen if these kind of groups were real. There's hatred in between the group and between the members. They argue, they fight. You know, there's racial tension. A lot of those things would probably happen if there was such groups around. They even have an overweight member. For those reasons alone, I like it. I'm not thrilled with the overall storyline, so this is a toss-up. I'd try it for an issue or two. I'd give this a shot because it's not a bad book. You might like it, you might not. This one's one of those right along the middle. And basically, I'll give it a good grade. My second book this week is Dr. Faustus, #1 from Anarchy Press out of Bellingham, Washington. Michael O'Connell's the writer with Vinton Huke doing the artwork. It's $2.95. The story's about Joanne. She's a professor at a local college. She hasn't been to work in a couple weeks. And basically what happens is she gets wound up into this, what appears to be, from what I could read of it, it appears to be something to do with Satan. Obviously in the next issue it's going to continue. It looks like she's going to be on a quest to get Satan. Story's good. The dialogue is good. Art is very good. It's a black and white book, but the art is very good. Interest level is good. Action is poor. It's okay. It's not that great. There's not much to it. Realism is good. Humor is good. It's definitely for mature readers who would like reading a story and not so much looking for superheroes beating each other up or anything. This is a story. Overall, it's an interesting concept. The art is very good. Each portion of the story is like a separate scene. If you really look at it carefully, there'll be one picture where they'll have a close-up of them. The next picture will be from a different angle. The next one will be from a different angle. It's almost like a movie, and it's really, really laid out well. There's nice work. I'll recommend this one for the non-superhero readers, and it's definitely for mature readers because it's written on an adult theme. And that's it for this week. This is the Dual Review.
Each and every week, me and Michael pick 2 books. We both read them, and we tell you if we like them or we hate them, and they stink. So, this week, I'm doing Nightman #5 from Ultraverse.
And I've got Velvet Touch #1 from Venus, which is from Antarctic Press.
For this week's first dual review, Nightman #5 from Malibu Ultraverse. Writer is Steve Englehart, and Jason Miner is the artist and the inker. Cost is $1.95. Nightman must destroy Rita, a 5,000-year-old being from another world who kills and eats her victims' hearts. She wants him to join her in eternity. Now, the story in this one was good. The dialogue was very good in this one. Art level was excellent. Interest level kept it up right from the beginning. Action level was very good. Realism, I'm going to give that an iffy on a good. Color was excellent. And target audience on this one would be definitely Ultraverse fans because, like I said, each comic book corporation has their own superheroes. But I'm giving this one 4. An overall grade, a very good and recommended definitely for Ultraverse buyers. And what did you think of it, Michael?
Well, Stephen.
Yes, Michael.
Steve gave a very good review of the book. It's basically what happened. I give the story a good, the dialogue good, art very good. I thought the art was very good. It's almost same kind of quality as Image puts out, same type paper. Interest level was good. Action, realism, they were both good. Humor was poor. I didn't find much humor in there. It's a kind of a serious book. The color is excellent. Excellent variety of colors. Target audience, not quite sure who would like this. But Steve claims that
I liked it.
Ultraverse fans
would like it. They got some good titles out there.
Now, the thing I have to say is that Nightman's a good book. Although, I guess I don't see the story much different than many of the other superhero type of books. It's kind of along the same lines of everything. In fact, Shadow Man from Valiant he's a sax player too. This guy plays a saxophone.
And he's a DJ at night.
Yeah.
This guy is a disc jockey at a radio station at night. So that's how he got the nickname Nightman.
What do I disapprove of? Oh, I disapprove of crossovers early in a series, which they claim there's going to be crossover within the next issue or so. And obviously, obviously that's made as a sales gimmick in order to get people turned into all their titles. But I think it's too early. You got to develop the character more before you can start throwing crossovers in with all these other characters. So because of that, sorry, I got to say see ya.
And I like this.
Okay, my dual review this week is called Velvet Touch. It's #1. It's from Venus Comics, which is an imprint of Antarctic Press. It's $3.95, $3.95, and it's various artists. It's almost an anthology kind of book. Now this, if you can see, does it say anywhere? Adults only. That means it's adults only. You must be 18 years old or older to purchase this book. This is not for you, children. And as Steve shows you the pictures, these are some of the only pages we can show from this book because this is adults only. This is a manga book, and it's very good. If you like adult comics with nudity, violence, good stories in a manga style, Velvet Touch is for you. Overall, I give all the stories, artwork, everything. I give this a good grade. Overall, I'm going to give this a very good book because there's not a lot of books out like this that produce good quality pornographic material. And if you like that, it's for you. It's not for the kids, though. This is not for little kids, and this is not something we would even recommend for little kids because this is written for adults. What do you think, Steve?
Well, Michael hit the nail right on the head on this one. The reading in this one was very good for an adult. For somebody young to pick this up, it'd be very, very stupid for him in plain English, because if parents ever caught you with a book like this, they would really slap you around in plain English. This is for adults only. There's a lot of nudity, a lot of swearing, a lot of sexual situations, which is not for kids. So basically, for an adult, pick this up. The reading was great in here. For a child, don't even think about it. Bad kid, that type of deal. So, but I give this one a thumbs up, a definite thumbs up on this one. And that's it for Dual Review.
Alrighty. Okay, before we get into our regular Comic Book Hall of Fame feature, we've got a new contest. We've got a couple of them coming up. First one this week will include the Dark Book. Now, what the Dark Book is it's from Wizard Press. It's a special book, and it's about...
Well, I'll let you know right now, kids. This book is the top 100 villains of all time. But before you go out and get excited and go around and pick this up, this is a lot of reading. There's no comic strips. All it does is show pictures of the villain. It's like a regular magazine with a picture. So before you get all excited and run out and spend the $4.95 for it, which these are limited print, there's not a lot of them out there, think about it. I recommend it because every comic collector should own it. But like I said, there's a lot of reading in it. So kids, think twice. And for a grand prize in our contest, which Michael will in a minute tell you, we are giving away an uncut sheet of this book right here.
Dark Book cover, which is done by Nelson.
Which is fabulous artwork. And these are limited print. COMX-TV came across and got one of these, and we are giving it to you. But now,
here's what you gotta do.
Comes the contest.
In 20 words or less, you gotta tell us what you like, what you don't like about COMX-TV. The best one that we receive is going to win that uncut sheet, which is, like Steve said, it's limited. There's not too many of those you can find.
Anywhere.
And, yep, this is not something that you can maybe send away for and get. No, because they're not available. Exactly. So, what you have to do is you have to write 20 words or less what you like and what you don't like about COMX-TV. You've got to send it here to our COMX-TV address, which is given at the end of the show every single week. The best person, the best essay in 20 words or less, or if you want to write a little couple more, that's all right. But we're trying to make it simple.
Yeah, something easy.
The best one is going to win that uncut sheet, which is not available in stores. It's not available mail order. It's not available anywhere. You're not going to find that anywhere else. So, It's exclusive here to COMX-TV. Not like all the exclusive interviews you see in every magazine where everybody's got an exclusive interview with somebody at the same time.
Yeah.
This is exclusive.
This is exclusive. And on the bottom of that, we're going to have a little poll here. Whose reviews are better, Michael's or mine? I want you to write their name on the bottom of that sheet. And maybe the person with the most and the best one will also get a little something extra from me and Michael. So, start writing.
One last thing. Also available now is the COMX-TV show synopsis. What this has is a weekly rundown of every single show that we've done, what books we reviewed, what books we've previewed, interviews, everything. This is available for a self-addressed stamped envelope. You send it here, we'll send you out a copy, and this is going to be important because in the coming weeks we're going to be running contests off of this, trivia contests. So hurry up and get that stuff out to us because this is a limited time offer. The Comic Book Hall of Fame, your weekly feature on what's old and what's not. Captain America Comics #1, dated March 1941 from Timely Comics. This is Joe Simon and Jack Kirby's most classic creation, a patriotic paragon, the second but foremost of patriotic heroes that set the comic market reeling. Captain America was a trend-setting comic book, which is one of the most sought-after books today. With a few interruptions, the character has survived beyond 40 years. In this issue, the first appearance and origin of Captain America and his sidekick Bucky is given. Hurricane and Tuck the Cave Boy begin, also done by Simon and Kirby. There's an appearance by the Red Skull, Captain's foremost villain throughout the years, and the cover features Adolf Hitler. Many of these war years issues were war stories with Captain and Bucky fighting Nazis. There's an estimated 180 copies of this book in existence, with 8 in near mint to mint condition. In good condition, Captain America Comics #1 is worth $3,000, while in near mint condition, it's worth $30,000. Issue number 3 included Stan Lee's first work for Marvel with the text for the story, and issue number 4 includes the first full-page panel in comics. That's it for the Comic Book Hall of Fame this week. Next week, we will bring you another one. And when you're sending in those contest entries, if you've got a book you'd like to see in the Comic Book Hall of Fame, jot it down, and we'll include it. Hi, we're visiting with Michael Hopkins. He is a multi-talented individual. He's a writer, teaches a course on Elfquest, among other things, at the University of Buffalo. And we're going to spend a few minutes, myself and Steve, and we're going to discuss some of his projects. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, why don't you give us just a quick rundown of what you do with the Elfquest books?
Well, basically what I've been doing for the better part of, 10 years now, going on 12, is doing, like so many other people, my utmost to just perceive what Elfquest is, hopefully above perceiving them, enjoying them. Because they're some of the best examples of storytelling that's happening in literature today. Probably the most concentrated efforts with Elfquest is the creation of the Elfquest course, which now is called Pan-Ethnic Fantasy, simply because that's what Elfquest is about. Been doing that since 1984. We're currently celebrating the 10th anniversary of the course even now.
Okay. Why or how did you get into doing this? Why did you choose Elfquest? I mean, how did you get into, why did you pick it and decide to do it? Were you already teaching?
Yes, I've been teaching since 1979. Actually, I've been teaching since about 75, but regularly at UB since 1979. I've always been interested in teaching elements of fantasy, of myth, of folklore, simply because myth and folklore say so much about who and what we are, where we came from, as well as what we wish to be. I was introduced to Elfquest around 1982 or 83 by a longtime associate by the name of Dwayne Moof. Very knowledgeable in the area of comics and very powerful force in the Buffalo community in terms of comic book readers and such, in terms of serious stuff. I read Elfquest. I really liked what was happening with it, still like it, in fact even more nowadays, and just really determined that the time was there to teach a course on it. Fortunately, for the Department of African American Studies, the people that I've worked with there are very open to creating courses that are new, that are fresh, and have something to say about the culture in which we live. And that's how it started. It's still going strong.
Why don't you show us some of the things you brought?
Well, basically just to give an idea of just where Elfquest has been and how it's gotten to where it is. This is Fantasy Quarterly #1. Okay, the very first appearance of Elfquest appeared here. Now I stress that this is not a Warp Graphics comic. The Elfquest universe is going through a lot of expansion, as I said earlier. The Hidden Years, which is the current flagship, is going through some interesting points. The first collection of that is this one. And in the ensuing issues since, they've gotten into some very interesting changes that promises to open up the Elfquest universe and reveal it in much the way that the Peonies hinted when they first created Elfquest, to be a very circular story in the way that, and most people won't remember this, Jack Katz's The First Kingdom was. Okay, The First Kingdom was a very illustrious story that was one of the pioneers of the independent comics field. This is a hint of what's to come. They've gone into a couple of limited series, okay? This one will be coming out during the summer of '94, this year, and will deal with the future of the world of Two Moons, which will be called Abode. Okay. Another series, which is going on right now, 6-issue miniseries, is called Wave Dancers. And it deals with the aspect of underwater elves, aquatic elves. Okay. And the ramifications of what that development will mean to the world of Elfquest in general. Okay. And there are always other projects
Now,
that'll be spinning.
the Wave Dancers, I read something about that. Is that supposed to be continuing with the other storyline, as if elves had migrated to underwater at the same time?
That's right. Basically, the idea is that when the first comers, known as the High Ones, came to the world of Two Moons, okay, they met with some very harsh reaction from the humans there, who were in a Neanderthal state, Neanderthal Cro-Magnon state at best. Some of them went into the woods, and from them, especially from the shapeshifter Timane, that's where we get the Wolf Riders, okay, the chief characters of the quest, as we know them. Okay, Cutter, Skywise Lita, and the rest. Others went into the mountains, became the Go-Backs. The Go-Backs came from them. Sunfolk is another group, and the Wave Dancers are that group of elves who went underwater.